Police, Joseph Shikongo, also in display there as well, of course responsible for internal security also during this time as well. And he was on the platform, and during his tribute conversation we had, informing us how the president trusted the advice of the security cluster, of which he is part of, and said that even though he was somebody who had strong opinions, he always followed the advice from the security chiefs and the advice that comes from the security cluster. Said that he has never received any call at any time from the president to interfere in the operations and the business of the police, and said that he was a man that not only spoke about respecting the rule of law, but practice it, even though he had the power to step over bounds every now and then. He never exercised it, according to Inspector Joseph Shikongo. Of course, the same utterances also by the Bank of Namibia governor during his tribute, Johannes Gabachab, saying that the Bank of Namibia as an institution is as independent as it gets, saying that he had never received any call or any instruction from the president interfering in the operations or even inquiring on the business of the bank, unless where it's legally required to be done so. Live visuals coming from the Heroes Acre here in Windhoek, just on the outskirts of Windhoek City. And of course, slowly but surely, we are coming to our end here in the studios and getting ready to cross over live to the Heroes Acre. At the Heroes Acre, we have Kadambile Demburuka, veteran presenter and producer, also from the NBC, formerly standing by, and alongside Nora Apollos, of course, who was with me in studio on Friday. Part of presentation, they will of course be taking over a bit later on as well, and there's some aerial views of how it is looking like at the acre at the moment. Of course, Namibians showing up in their numbers to pay their final tributes to the Commander-in-Chief. Of course, we're about to close off here in the studio. Colonel, from your end, any final message that you want to share with the Namibian nation, the African nation, and of course the world that's watching right now?
Yes, I would like to say something, to say that the late president was a man with a remarkable ability to connect with everyone he met, be it an ordinary person, and he made friends wherever he went. He was a person who was open for consultation and for engagement with anyone. His office doors were open to Namibians. Also in the region, especially I listened to His Excellency Ramaphosa, the President of the Republic of South Africa, during the State of Nation in Cape Town. He told South Africans that as Africa, we have lost a champion of African peace, unity, progress, and development. So he remembered His Excellency that he was full of jokes, and one of them, or I remember the president, that he was a man full of jokes. And at one time, a journalist, at State House, he told the journalist that during COVID, he said, use common sense, use your common sense. So I enjoy his...
Well, of course, thank you very much, Colonel, for making time out to join us here. Colonel Peter Shilumbu from the Public Relations Office in the Namibia Defense Force, talking to us this. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you over the last 3 days.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Well, on that note, it's time now to cross over to the stadium to hand over to Gadambire and Mburuka, as well as Sonora Opolas that are standing by. And I think from my side, the only thing I can say is now, from us, it's over to you at the Heroes Acre.
Turning that side, because where you are, we may have some challenges.
And a very warm welcome to all our viewers, our radio listeners, to this special NBC broadcast on this terribly, terribly sad day when we are going to lay the late President Dr. Hage Gottfried Geingob to his final resting place. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers in Africa on the DSTV channel, or where DSTV has a footprint across Africa. You're watching us live on the NBC DSTV channel. And the people in the diaspora can watch the proceedings on YouTube. And this is because we want everybody to experience and to be part of this historic day. We are here at Heroes Acre on a bright, sunny day to lay the president, the late president, to rest. My name is Nora Apollos, and I'm joined by my co-presenter.
My name is Gadambire Mburuka. As we have rightly stated, it's quite an occasion to behold. It's a sad occasion at some level, but also a celebration of a life well lived. Dr. Hage Geingob is a outstanding personality that lived a distinguished career in the service of his people, and that's why you can see Namibians from all walks of life have made it to the Heroes Acre to bid farewell to their former commander-in-chief, bid farewell to their president, to bid farewell to a man who was their founding prime minister, bid farewell to a man who was the chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, and I can go on and on and on.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, there is a close, I would estimate the crowd at close to 20,000, or I don't know, I may be optimistic, but I know that rough estimates, Heroes Acre can take 10,000 people. This is what I was told. And of course, we have dignitaries from all walks of life. We have 27 heads of delegation, 27 countries present here, including 17 heads of state and heads of government. And some of these include the presidents of Zambia, Botswana, the former president of South Africa. You've got the prime minister of Sao Tome and Principe. You've got the president of DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, who is here. You've got the prime minister of Rwanda. You've got the president of Burundi. You've got the president of Sierra Leone. You've got the president of Zambia and Ghana. So across the board, people have come to pay tribute. And we could hear in the various tributes that took place yesterday the glowing terms in which they described the late President Hage Geingob.
Indeed, and obviously there are some dignitaries that made their way into the country late yesterday. President from Zambia, for instance, flew in very late in the day. We have also seen the arrival of royal members of the United Kingdom, royal family. Princess Royale has also made her way here as well, representing her brother, King Charles as well. So the Commonwealth quite represented, because Namibia is a member of the Commonwealth, but also, as we are rightly pointing out, neighbors from the SADC region, far afield in other countries as well, East Africa, West Africa, well represented. But it goes to show, yes, that indeed Dr. Hage Geingob was a friend to many on the African continent. He was a diplomat par excellence, and that's how he's being described. And that's why they are here, to pay their last respects. Some obviously due to their hectic schedules have returned to their countries, but we do have a sizable contingent of heads of state that are still in country.
And that are still present here, at Heroes Acre. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of what we should expect here at Heroes Acre. All the dignitaries have arrived. Most of them have arrived. Some of them are still making their way to the stadium, to Heroes Acre rather. The body lay in state the whole night at Independence Stadium, where the memorial was held yesterday. And it has lain in state throughout the night, and it is now making its way to Heroes Acre on the gun carriage with a military procession. And it is expected at Heroes Acre any minute now, and obviously we will cross over when the funeral cortege arrives at Heroes Acre. With the arrival of the funeral cortege, that will mark the beginning of the official program, and this will be officiated by the Minister of Defense, Mr. Franz Kapofi, as well as the Prime Minister, Sarah Kukongelwa Amadela. So these will be the two directors of proceedings. The only speech, usually at Heroes Acre, at the burial, the ceremony is very short because all the speeches were made yesterday. So today's ceremony will be extremely short, and it will only be the benediction and then the final words by the President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, and then it will be the committal into the grave. So it's going to be a very short ceremony. It will not be as lengthy as what happened yesterday.
And in the pictures there, we are seeing the NDF making their way up the hill to the foreground of the Heroes Acre, where the program will commence. We have pointed out there will just be one speech that will be delivered. However, in keeping with the stature of a sitting president, there are several things that are going to take place that are unique to this particular ceremony. We expect the burial place of our former president to be quite unique as well, in keeping with the recognition and acknowledgement of his excellent service to the Namibian people. So there are quite a few things that will be quite new, that we have never seen before. We have done these programs of burying our heroes at this national shrine before, so we are used to the activities that take place here. However, as I'm pointing out, today is a unique program.
Absolutely, and in fact, yes, the president's grave is going to have a roof over it, a mausoleum of sorts. So that is where he is actually going to be laid to rest. That will be his final resting place. Over the last 2 days, people have been filing past his body. First, it was lying in state at Parliament Gardens before it was moved to Independence Avenue for the memorial service. And over those 2 days, it was lying in state. and thousands, literally thousands of people filed past to pay tribute. The whole 2 nights. The fact that it was night, the fact that it was raining didn't deter Namibians. They came out in their hundreds, thousands, to pay respect to their president. Previously, on the Friday, the military had a procession through the streets of Windhoek to say goodbye in their own way to their commander, to their fallen commander-in-chief. And the procession moved through designated areas of Windhoek, designated streets. And all those streets, we were told, were of special significance to the late president. They went through Moses Garraweb Street, for instance, who we know was a comrade-in-arms of President Hage and a close friend as well. They came through the trenches, they shared the trenches, and they came through the struggle for decades together. It also went through Hendrik Witbooi Street, and we know that Hendrik Witbooi was one of the stalwarts of the liberation struggle. And of course it went through Sam Nujoma Drive, and as the founding president, Sam Nujoma was a mentor, political guide, political inspiration to not only the late president, but to many freedom fighters, and not just Namibian freedom fighters from other countries as well. In fact, we had a conversation with the former South African president, Thabo Mbeki, where he said that, look, we shared a common vision with the Namibians, with SWAPO as it were, and this is one of the reasons where he and the late president often had discussions around, and they looked at how they were going to build a better Africa and a better Namibia and South Africa for the benefit not only of citizens of those countries, but of Africans in general.
And spontaneous moments where Namibians have been paying their respects to their fallen leader. We have seen in several parts of the country, the 14 regions of the country, services being held in celebration and remembrance of Dr. Hage Geingob. We've also seen at Namibian residences abroad, at our high commissions and embassies, services being held. We have seen at universities as well services being held. So these spontaneous, these spontaneous celebrations that we have seen really are a testament to the character of the man and the character of this beloved president. And one of the things that we are pointing out is last night I made a turn at the Independence Stadium trying to get in a queue myself. I didn't manage because the line was just very long. This morning I stopped by as well. The line was still pretty long as well. So Namibians are, if they did not physically manage to attend some of those ceremonies, some of those events, they are getting this moment now, watching this event live as the president is finally being laid to rest.
Yes, the funeral cortege is making its way into Heroes Acre, and we were noting yesterday already a difference in the way the casket is being carried. Usually it's an open, it's left open on the gun carriage.
Yes.
But in this instance, it is covered, and it is covered in a glass enclosure. But you can clearly see the flag-draped casket, but it is in a glass enclosure, and that already is a departure from the norm.
The President of the Republic just behind, in that picture that we are seeing, the former First Lady as well. They are right behind the casket.
Yes, and of course the President is the chief mourner in this instance.
What a moving tribute from the former First Lady, the poise, the dignity in which she delivered her tribute to
Indeed.
a best friend. She described the late President and
My husband.
My husband. Social media was reacting to that particular speech in glowing terms, obviously, but it takes a certain character, a certain strength to be able to mourn and to be able to say goodbye to somebody so close in such a public manner.
Exactly. Yeah, in the full glare of not only local media but international media, and it takes a great deal of inner strength and resilience, and she pulled it off beautifully indeed.
The NDF, we understand they are also civilian pallbearers, and you are seeing McHenry Venani, leader of the official opposition, former cabinet minister Afeus Narusap, that's the president, Angolo Mbumba.
And his son, President Geingob's son, firstborn son, Mangaliso Geingob, is also one of the civilian pallbearers. So is the Deputy Prime Minister, John Mutora, as well as the retired Lieutenant General Martin Shali, and then of course Ben Amadela, former Cabinet Minister. These are the civilian pallbearers.
Quite a strong international media contingent as well.
Yes.
That are following this particular ceremony. We have journalists covering this from afar that have made their way into the country, capturing every moment, and so these pictures are being beamed globally. President Cyril Ramaphosa also making his way in yesterday, so he's represented here.
As well as the President of Angola, he arrived earlier. João Lourenço arrived earlier. Yesterday we also saw the arrival of the Cuban delegation, the President of Ethiopia,
the widow.
The widow in the foreground here. Former First Lady Monica Gengos, and she is accompanied by the children of Dr. Geingob.
Embracing now the First Lady of the Republic of
the
Namibia,
First Lady.
Madame Bumba, acknowledging her in her tribute last night as well,
Absolutely.
saying she played a huge role, not only after the tragic event,
in terms of support as
in terms
well,
of support, but
when she was in hospital
yes,
with the President.
but also before that, very close relationships between the Bumbas and the Geingobs.
Yeah, well, this relationship goes back many decades to their exile days, and they've always been very close. And this continued, obviously, after independence.
President Bumba, coincidentally the first secretary to cabinet, working very closely with the then founding prime minister. And then later on he became minister, several portfolios, Minister of Finance, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Safety and Security, amongst other portfolios that he has held in government until he led the SWAPO party as Secretary General and later appointed Vice President by President Geingob.
The proceedings this morning are expected to be very, very short. They will not be as long as those yesterday at the memorial service. We can see a huge contingent of media, and a lot of the media here are those accompanying their heads of state and their heads of government. And there is a huge media scrum.
Mr. Nora, you had an earlier discussion. You went to meet and welcome the former president's son.
Yes.
His eldest son, who's also now serving this
as one of
as a pallbearer.
yes.
Really,
yes.
the whole entire family
Yes.
are really people of strength during these moments where they had a sort of a public, very public.
Yeah. In fact, a very little known fact is that President Geingob is actually survived by two siblings, his older brother and his younger sister, and they are also present. But because of their frailty, they were not able to participate at all the memorials, but they were here, they were there yesterday, and they're definitely here today. Yes, I did speak to President Geingob's firstborn son, Mangaliso Geingob, and he acknowledged that it was a very difficult time for the entire family, but they took great comfort in the support and the show of love and gratitude that the people of Namibia and indeed the foreign dignitaries have had for their father, and this gives them great comfort.
We are taking in the sights and sounds as we welcome the President, Hirozeka.
Cô Phạm ơi, cô còn đau rồi. Cô đi bố. Halo cô ka? Yeah. Pero ko ano ko?
announce the arrival of His Excellency Dr. Semioma, founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Follows closely the president, His Excellency Dr. Namibia, the First Lady, and the widow, Madam Monica Geingob. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear mourners, we are now ready to start with our program, and we start with the national and AU anthems. I would like therefore to request that we all rise for the national and AU anthems and for the NDF band to lead us. Thank you very much. Yes, I would like to announce the arrival of His Excellency Dr. Chakwera of Malawi. You are welcome, Your Excellency and Madam. Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Monica Geingob, the widow, and the children, grandchildren, and the entire bereaved family of the late Dr. Hage Geingob, Your Excellency Dr. Sam Nujoma, founding President and father of the Namibian nation, and Madam Nujoma, Your Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, second President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Pohamba, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and other foreign dignitaries, Your Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia and of the SWAPO Party, and Lieutenant General Retired Ndaitwah, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Lucas Sinimbo Muha, Chairperson of the National Council, and Madam Muha, Your Lordship Peter Shivute, Chief Justice, and Judge Shivute, Honorable John Mutorwa, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Transport, and Madam Mutorwa, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Sophia Shaningwa, Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, Honorable McHenry Venani, Leader of the Official Opposition, and Madam Venani, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished veterans of the National Liberation Struggle, and the rank and file of SWAPO Party, Honorable Laura McLeod Kashirwa, Governor of the Commerce Region, and all other regional governors present here, Her Worship Queen Kamati, Mayor of the City of Windhoek, and all other mayors present, Chief Emmanuel Gaseb, Chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders, and other traditional leaders present here, members of the diplomatic corps, service chiefs, members of the clergy, fellow mourners. We are here today at these sacred grounds where we lay to rest the sons and daughters of our land who have distinguished themselves by their deeds and have been accorded the hero status, to lay to rest one such distinguished Namibian, Dr. Hage Godfried Geingob, our departed third president of our republic. These grounds shall become the new home of Dr. Geingob's mortal remains from today. He has joined the many other statesmen and women of outstanding character whom we hold in reverence. He has completed his tasks on earth and now takes his rest. While his remains shall be interred here, he will continue to be with us through the memories we shared and the legacy of his outstanding work and patriotism shall continue to inspire us to uphold our common values and strive for our common goals. It is these shared values that have bound us together and the common goals that have inspired us to pull together in the same direction as per the call under Harambee Prosperity Plan. So although we are heartbroken, we shall let our beloved President go. After a long life of hard work and sacrifices, he will now be taken care of by the Almighty, who will give his soul peaceful rest until we meet him again. Let us at this parting time with our departed President also celebrate the richness of the life he lived. Let us honor his memories by embodying the virtues he exemplified, by living each day with purpose, and by making a positive impact in our own ways. Comrade President Hage Geingob, your physical presence will be profoundly missed, but your spirit remains a guiding force in our nation. Your legacy of impactful and transformational leadership is a treasure that we will carry forward. In our hearts, your memory will forever resonate. No one must feel left out. Go well, our leader. With these remarks, I welcome your excellencies and fellow Namibians to the final send-off of our beloved president. I would now like to call upon Reverend Bishop Zacchaeus Hage of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in the Republic of Namibia to conduct a prayer and do scripture reading. Bishop Hage.
Thank you very much, the directors of proceedings. Allow me to stand on the protocol as established right now. Let us read and pray.